Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Sandeep, and Raghav and Rose are busy today, so I'm filling in for them for this today's session. So today's topic is pornography should be banned in India. So, agree or disagree? So, the pro stance from the fact sheet are some moral and ethical concerns regarding this. Many argue that the pornography promotes immoral behavior and its impact on relationships and mental health, and also there is a no side effect of exploitation and abuse those who are in the porn industry. And the constance is the freedom of expression, that many people argue that it's a freedom of expression, and it also comes down to the personal choice of adults. And also there is the gray area of where is banning porn, is it even practical, the regulations on it, and also the economic impact, which is also obviously if you ban something, it does affect economic uh, no, way of it. And of course the bans, right? Most of the bans around the world are usually ineffective. People always find a way to find a way to bypass them, right? And if I'm not wrong, I think pornography is banned in India, but obviously it's easily accessible. So if everybody will get a 5 minutes to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll let you speak. If anyone wants to speak, they can raise it. They can raise a hand. Okay, nobody's raising. Okay, I'll let Vivekananda speak.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so pornography should be banned in India, right? As you said, yeah, I
Yes.
agree that it should be banned in India. But people find a way, right? Somehow they find a way to watch pornography. But like from the childhood, right? We should try to train our kids, right? Give them good culture. So I think as a parents, if I'm not married yet, but as a parents, we have cousins, we have small kids at home, or we have people who go to college who are adolescents, like our nephews or our own kids. So we should educate them and try to keep them away from all these contents, because when they go to college or school, they mix up with people, and kids are naughty, right? Their hormones, because of the hormones and all, they try to get into these things. But we need to educate them and be open about it, be open about sex and pornography, and tell them what is right, what is wrong. And I feel that it is mostly about education, right? We need to educate, because people somehow find the way to watch it. So we need to educate our kids. And also from the regulation point, of course, it is banned in India. No one wants to promote pornography. um yeah, so it is more from the education perspective, I'd like to say. And also I'd like to say, once in a while, if you are watching it once in a while, like, we should not get addicted to it, right? If you're watching once in a while as a stress relief, as a couple, when you're married, right? So I think it is fine to watch once in a while, but we should not get addicted to it. And we should,
So your stance is it should be banned, but it's okay to watch once in a while. Is it where you stand?
Um, yeah, yeah, but
Okay.
it is little contradictory, I understand. But when, for example, after marriage, right?
Mm.
After marriage, as a couple, like my stand is kids should not watch it, right? We should not encourage them to watch it. But as a couple, since we are adults, right? We know what is good and what is bad for us. So as a couple, it's okay to watch maybe
So
some. Yeah,
so your stance is it is okay for the adults to consume pornography, but it should be banned for the children. It should be kept away from the children. That's what your stance is.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Would anyone like to speak next?
Yeah, hi Sandeep. I just wanted to add some points. I agree with our last speaker. So, yeah, I think, to start with, there's nothing wrong or right in this, I believe. But obviously, definitely for kids, it should not be allowed because they are in that age where, everything affects them and they do not know that what is right and what is not right. And second thing, I think the major thing is that we need to spread awareness about it. Exactly like you said, what are the bad impacts of it, right? So we should clearly state that and let the child really understand that it's going to affect the other part of my life, my education, or the goals that I'm trying to achieve, so that he himself or herself realize that if I devote my time into these things, I'm going to lose out on other better opportunities or things that I could use my time for. So unless the person doesn't realize that, it's no use, like banning and all. That is, I think, it's fine if it's banned for adults and all, but there's always a way to access it. But unless the person really doesn't understand or realize how it's affecting them and how it's not letting them do better in their life in the other things, it won't change anything. So just wanted to add that point, that education is very important that way.
So you mean uh, besides sex education, there should be an education regarding consumption of porn as well. Is it your
Correct.
stance? Yeah.
Correct. Like the person should realize that, how it's affecting them. And I think nobody talks about it openly, because people fear that, the more open they are, the more people will be aware and they'll just go and watch it. But unless the person, goes, I mean, I'm not promoting them to go watch it, but they should understand, how it is affecting them and what are the better ways, they can use their time in. They should just realize that.
Okay. So you're okay with banning porn in India?
Yeah, that's fine if we ban it, because I think the general perception is if something is banned like at a kids level, or at a teenage level. Maybe I'm just talking about people who want to make changes or do their life, get their life on track. If something is banned, it directly comes to them as something which is not they the world wants to be the world wants to promote. So if it is banned, it's kind of positive understanding on your head that okay, this is not something very good or correct to do. So it's fine if it's banned. But yeah,
Okay.
as we all know, there's always a way to access it.
Yeah. So you mean to say if it is inherently banned, it would give an impression to even for the adults that it something is not right and they might
Yes,
reconsider doing that. Okay. Yeah.
yes. I think to some extent it might help.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you.
Yeah, I also feel that it should be education first, right? Educating the kids and everyone, even the adults first.
Yeah. If you can hold on, I'll let others speak who has
Yeah,
raised
yeah,
the hand. You can
sure.
raise your hand and I'll let you speak. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, Ruhi, you can go ahead.
Yeah, first, I think we have to look at the role of porn that the role that porn played. Um, we never had sex education, so porn was how children really learned how what is what. Okay, so it played an important role. And porn in digital media is not the first time that people started consuming porn, or you know, it was there first. It was magazines, walking into a sex store and buying magazines. and all of that. So the consumption of porn existed from a long time ago, and majority of the people didn't get addicted, or it didn't affect them in their day-to-day life, and it filled the role of sex education in India, because sex education was not prevalent and still not prevalent in India until now, and porn filled that role until now. And yeah, that also should be taken into consideration, the role it played. And A lot of parents still today are not okay to give their children a sex talk. So most of them learn through this, and I don't think so it affects their long-term productivity. At least a majority of the people, I think, understand. Okay, this is what porn is, and uh, and only limit porn to that, a small part of their life. Yeah, that's what my take is.
Yeah. So you mean to say because of yeah, can you hold on? I'll let you speak.
Sure.
You can just raise your hand and I'll call out your name. Yeah. So Ruhi, so you were saying that because of the lack of sex education, the porn is has been filling the gap, and I absolutely agree to that.
Not
And
um, filling the gap, it played a major role.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
because of lack of sex education and also societal and family, even parents wouldn't educate children in that direction, and the children would take their own individual actions to understand what it is, right? And yeah, it has been consumed for a very long time, but I think there is a lot of scope to discuss about how there are like multiple shades of porn, and then it's a very big way of going towards it, but it is indeed a point. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aniket, you can go ahead. Aniket.
Someone else, I will speak later on. Someone else can go ahead.
Okay.
And this,
May I know who was okay, Ruhi, you can go ahead.
Uh, no, I was just trying to take off the, raise hand option.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine, no
So
issue.
Sandeep, I just wanted to like add a point. I mean, I kind of differ with Ruhi a little because, pornography cannot be a replacement for sex education or anything like that. It is not something how you will learn about it. Okay, there are, as you've already mentioned, right, there are a lot of kinds of pornographies available. So I don't think for a kid to understand sex education, that is a good place to learn from. Definitely not. I think it can be a very bad place to have their first encounter about the sex education. I think it should be taught in the school, and like even we were like taught in the school, so that makes most sense. And because somebody just goes and watches something, and then the person is just more curious and they'll just continue watching it, right? And they that gives them dopamine, and then it becomes like an addiction. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people nowadays. So there should be a proper channel to explain them what is what, because as a kid we cannot just leave it up to them to go and explore it. So I don't think that's a good way.
Yeah, indeed. I think Rohi was saying that because of lack of sex education, it has been consumed. I don't think she was saying that it is a replacement.
Correct, correct, correct. I'm just trying to say that it should not happen like this. That should not
Yeah,
continue.
it should not
We
happen
should
like
have
that, but
policies.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Anyone else would like to talk? Yeah, you can go ahead, Vivekananda.
Yeah. So this is a complex topic, right? I'm just trying to think. Um, so I also feel that if we ban something, right? If we ban like psychologically, if you want to take away something from someone, they want it more, right? So if you try to ban it, like for example, cryptocurrency was banned in India. So people somehow find a way to buy cryptocurrency and trade in cryptocurrency. or not banned actually, taxed heavily, right? So if we ban something or if we force something on people, we tend to do it, somehow we tend to find a way, or we become more curious about it. So what I think is we should be open about it, talk more about it, and educate the children, right? Educate the kids, even the adults, right? Adults also watch it secretly, right? We all know that. So educate the kids and the adults about the proper sex education and what pornography can do to what are the harmful effects of pornography. I think it is more about the education perspective, and we should explore ourselves and understand what is right and what is wrong, and how much to, if we are consuming also, as I said earlier, right? Married couples, they can consume and have a good time, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So you're saying that banning is ineffective, and it would even instead of serving the purpose, it would even contradict the way the very purpose it is made for.
Yes,
Okay.
because nowadays you see, right, kids, college going students, drugs are banned, cigarettes are not good, but if you try to keep them away from that, they tend to do it more. So we have to make them, give them proper
Right.
education. Yeah.
Yeah, there is an angle to it, but the intention of banning something is at least to discourage those who are at least obedient, or like they want to follow the rules. So that is the intention of the government. They do know that, I think, banning is not going to solve the issue, but at least putting a ban on something does inherently create some rejection towards it. If I think that is what I take away from that.
Yeah, it's also biology, right? We cannot, it is inherent in us, right? Sex and all those hormones are inherent in us. So it is also comes from the biological perspective. So yeah, it has to be in a healthy way.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
First of all, can I speak now?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to address someone made a point of like we should make the kids realize that how porn is harmful for them and how bad it is. I guess someone made it. Uh, the first of all, from my personal experience, even I myself knowing everything like how porn fucks up your brain or like understanding the neuroplasticity, all the even all even though I knew all the neuroscience thing like how dopamine shoots up and all that. Even though I knew all that, I was never able to control the urges. It's more like a supernormal stimuli if you look at it. Once you, it's like a trigger switch, I guess. Even though you know it's bad for you, we still continue to do it no matter what. And the reason most of us do it, at least I personally, from my perspective, I guess, is not having a good social life. That one contributes to most of the porn addiction as well. Uh, what else? So I guess in order, another thing is we cannot ban it in any sense because it's a video on internet. We all know that pirated movies is banned. Like we cannot watch it, but still we are all are able to watch it through torrent or any network. It's like it's available on our fingertips. You just have to change the proxy of the website and it's available. So banning is not an option anywhere, and it does not help also. Because once your brain knows understands the pleasure behind it, it will do anything to what we say achieve that again and again. And I don't know if I should give an example for this, but uh, yeah, I'll leave it. Okay. That's it, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, Aniket. Vivekananda, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I also feel that now when I was thinking about it, right? I also feel that you don't have to go to a porn site to watch porn, right? Even our Instagram feeds, like if you watch something bad in Instagram, it keeps popping up, right? For example, if I watch some uh, girl's photo or picture or video, it keeps popping up in my Instagram feed. So I also feel that Instagram is also like porn only, right? Or YouTube for that matter, or Instagram. So I know this can be a little controversial opinion, but Instagram is also like porn only for me, right? Not only for me,
It's
for most
basically
of the
soft
people.
porn. It's
Yeah,
basically
it's
soft porn, you
soft.
can say that.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically soft porn. So we are exposed to it all the time. So we just have to control our urges, and instead of watching Instagram or porn, try to read a book or indulge in some activity, healthy activities like playing sports or spending time with our kids if we have kids. So we should try to divert because we are always exposed to sexual content or pornographic content through
But the
Instagram,
thing
YouTube. Yeah.
is, I feel like we all know what's right, but we are still doing it. That's my problem, like with my even myself. The way I guess I am able to recover from it is by just getting outside of the house more instead of just spending time in the home inside.
Yeah.
That's what I've been at least been that's how I've been
Yeah.
able to overcome
Aniket,
it at least.
if you can let him speak, I'll let you speak
Okay, okay.
after that.
Yeah. So that is what we are always exposed to soft porn, as Aniket said, right?
Yeah.
So we
So
are
you,
always exposed to it. Kids are exposed to it. Every one of us are exposed to it. So we need to proper education is one way, and we should not give kids mobile till they are maybe 18 years old, or give them mobile with restricted content, and we keep
So
monitoring what.
Vivekananda, just wanted to add on Instagram, you can restrict all those things, right? You have an option to say like unfollow pages or say that this is not the relevant content you want to see. So I mean, we have those options that have been come up, right?
yeah, if you can let him speak, I'll let you, you can raise your hand, then I'll let you speak. Yeah, go ahead, Vivekanand.
Yeah. Yes. So Instagram, even if that has come up, right, we tend to watch it. We don't
Yeah.
restrict ourselves, and we tend to watch it. So
See,
Insta
what I
is.
think Namrata was trying to say is if you click on something, it is programmed to show you the same thing. So it, I wouldn't say it's a soft porn. I would say like it is a provoke
Mm.
for you to consume you know, the porn actually. You can term it soft porn. I'm not really sure. I wouldn't call it a soft porn. But all the social media apps are designed to show you the same things that you're watching it regularly. So
Yeah, but I disagree with you. I'll call it soft porn only. Instagram.
yeah, you can call it, but yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. YouTube, not YouTube, but mostly Instagram, because in YouTube it is not that much, right? If you watch educational videos, educational videos keeps popping up. But in Instagram you get random contents. Even Facebook nowadays, right? There are some long format videos which you know, right? There are some long format videos which keeps popping up once in a while. So Facebook is completely like soft porn. Instagram a little bit, YouTube not that much. So we are always exposed to things like this. So we need to find ways to avoid it, or do it in a limited manner. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Yeah. So I'd like to just tell all the participants, you can just raise your hand and I'll give you 5 minutes to speak. This is a moderated session, and once we enter unmoderated session, you can just unmute and speak. So as long as you are in moderated session, you can just raise your hand and I'll give you the chance to speak. Uh, I'll let Anandita go ahead.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Today I'm outside. I'm joining this the first time. So great listening to you all. My 2 cents would be here that I agree with the thought that for children it should be restricted, and of course adults have their own choices and options. Now, to restrict for the children, if it is
See, your voice is not very clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's clear. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, if it is, I agree with the thought that for children it should not be accessible. And yeah, adults, anyways, they make their own choices and decisions. So we leave to that. Now, if we want children not to access it, then it should not be readily available in the internet. And for that to be not readily available, there should be some restrictions from the government or regulations more stricter rights. For example, I'll give 3 examples for it. One is the gaming or gambling industry, right? I'm from Northeast and I'm from Meghalaya. And in Meghalaya, gambling or gaming, whatever we call gambling, is it's legally allowed, right? You have the authority to do that. Anyone can do it, and as a result, there are a lot of casinos in the streets. After every shops, you will see lotteries and a lot of things. Recently, I went with my daughter there, and she was saying, "Mama, what is this? I also want to play." Right? But I don't see all of that in Bangalore, yeah, because the other states do not. It's highly regulated, and they do not allow gambling. And that's why a lot of investments from the foreign also are directed towards states like Meghalaya. Another is the pirated movies and all that, the whole pirated. So although there is a ban that movies should not be pirated, and they are trying to put in constraints. As a result, it is not readily available. Of course, torrents and people who want to watch pirated, they are doing it. But it's not that I click Google and all the movies are readily available. No. So indirectly, what I'm saying is, if a kid is trying to just Google and search it, then that should not be readily available. And that can only come if there are certain restrictions. Yeah, and that's all I would like to.
Okay. Thank you. Would anyone like to speak? Okay, now we can enter the unmoderated session, and you can unmute and speak. Please let others to speak and try to not cut them off. Anybody wants to speak, they can just unmute and have a dialogue.
Yeah, so all these are like common industries, right? As the last speaker was pointing out, gambling, gaming if you're addicted to gaming, lotteries, I feel pornography, all these are interrelated. Like if you get addicted to it, if you get addicted to gambling, then we will not be able to leave it unless, yeah, something like that, right? Porn also same. So we have to, I think, regulate the entire industry, maybe form a ministry in the government, right? That tries to look over these things like this, gambling, lotteries, uh, try to form a central ministry that regulates this kind of activities and try to provide education, maybe set up education centers or have a course like vocational course in schools and colleges so that our kids get to know what is right, what is wrong, and learn from it and not get addicted to things like this.
So you want the government to have a separate wing that would deal with social well-being and anything that would interfere with the social well-being of the citizens.
Yes, it is high
Okay.
time we should do that, and we should be open about things like this. Sex, we tend to not speak about sex, right? We have to be open about it and not hide children, right? Not like educate the children about it, right? Rather than hiding them, because eventually they will find out. Eventually they will find out in the wrong ways, mostly in the wrong ways, through their friends and other kids in the colleges. So it's better for the parents or if we, for the parents to educate the kids about what it is, what is the healthy way and stuff. If
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yes, education is very important when it comes to especially things like porn and gambling, because these are historically and traditionally has been treated like not taboos in Indian context, and there is a lot of hostility associated with them. So a proper education and well informed uh, would be a very good way to go towards it. Yeah. Would anyone like to counter or speak? So I'm checking there is a Department of Well-being in United Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and if we could take any cues from that, and we can learn from we can always learn regulations from other countries and apply to our own scenarios, how it work, how it goes.
Yeah.
But the porn is mostly not regulated or banned in the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they have their own. They have more emphasis on personal choice and freedom of expression. They lean towards more that, and let the society decide where it wants to go. Right. That's how their approach is. But being India culturally have this taboo towards it. It's very it's we need to go into the nuances and understand what actually is going on, because even maybe putting a ban is not effective, but they are doing so because of the cultural aspect to it, and it is not effective as we all know it. So there needs to be more thought put into it, and you know uh, more intellectuals should be brought in and analyze what actually is happening on the ground level, so they can get some data and act upon it.
Yeah. And it will affect if you watch porn a lot, it affects other parts of our life also, because it is quick dopamine hit, right? If you pay, for example, if we run a marathon,
Yeah.
if we run a marathon, we get a dopamine, like it is called runner's high, right? You all might know about it. If you keep running, you want to run more. But that is the original dopamine that we get, right? By working hard. But this
Yeah.
pornography is quick dopamine. And when we get married and when we try to have with our partners, so because of this, we'll not be able to, we'll have some expectation which are not practical expectations,
Yeah.
and that will
Yeah.
affect our marriage life also.
Yeah. So there are researchers and data which is available from the West. Extreme, not like continuous exposure to porn will have does have a physical and psychological effects, and there are some even case studies where they have shown that people wouldn't even get, they're not even interested in actual physical intimacy. They wouldn't even get excited when they are physically exposed, or they're physically into some person. So they would only get aroused only through digital consumption of porn. So apparently it is changing the psychology, and you know you could argue that is good or bad, but again it's up to the person to
It is
do it.
bad actually, right? It is obviously bad. And we should like we tend to tell our kids or nephews, don't talk to girls. It is bad to talk to girls. Some parents are very strict, right? So people who are very strict, I feel those kids tend to watch porn secretly, right? Try to understand why they are so strict. So if you try to ban something, then uh, if we try to ban something, we tend to do it more, right? So that is the reason we should be open. Like we should tell our kids that be open with everyone, right? Be friends with, try to be open with everyone. Talk to people. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, does anyone have anything to say?
Yeah, you can unmute and talk instead of chatting. Who says that? Someone else.
Yeah, guys, you can just unmute and say if you have something to say. Yeah. Uh, okay, then if anyone doesn't have anything to say, I'll just wrap it up and then we can close the session.
Yeah. So do we have this every week or how is it?
Yeah. Let me tell you that. So there is a debate session every Saturday at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and the link and the topic will be posted onto the WhatsApp channel and also on Meetup.
Yeah.
So actually, the host is Raghav and Rose, and they were busy today, so they asked me to fill in. So usually one of them would be hosting the session.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they also have, if you can go to meetup.com and check the upcoming debate sessions for the next weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have brainstorming sessions on Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a book club session on Sunday, 9 a.m. So
Okay.
you can join whichever the one you're interested in.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Okay, guys.
You did a great job.
Thank,
Yeah. Thanks.
yeah. Thank you all for participating. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.